Well, welcome to tonight's program. On behalf of the World Affairs Council of Charlotte, I want to thank all of you for taking time from your busy calendars to be here to honor Sandra and Leon Levine. What a tremendous turnout. We have almost 700 people here tonight. In our audience, we have a number of dignitaries whom I would like to welcome and thank for their presence. First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge our elected officials. Tonight we have with us former Governor of North Carolina, Governor Jim Martin and his wife Dottie. The Honorable Ruth Samuelson, representative to the North Carolina General Assembly, House of Representatives. Commissioner Karen Bentley, Mecklenburg County Board of County Commissioners, and Nancy Carter, former Charlotte City Councilwoman for District 5. We also have with us 4 honorary consuls who provide consular representation in North Carolina for their respective countries, and they are the Honorable Wayne Cooper, Honorary Consul of Mexico, the Honorable Kurt Waldhausen, Honorary Consul of the Federal Republic of Germany, the Honorable Michael Teeden, Honorary British Consul, and the Honorable Laura Mayer-Wellman, Honorary Consul of France. Our board members for the World Affairs Council help govern, direct, and promote the Council's mission and programs. And many of them are representatives of corporate sponsors whose support we greatly appreciate and value. I'd like to ask our board members who are here tonight to please stand and be recognized for all that you do for our organization. Please stand. I also want to thank several people who played a vital role in making this evening a success. First of all, Larry Polsky with the Leon Levine Foundation, and Michael Rose, President of the Carolinas Healthcare Foundation. They both provided the guidance and assistance to help us in planning and execution of tonight's event. Thank you both very much. I'd also like to thank the co-chairs of the dinner committee, which is composed of prominent Charlotte business and academic leaders, as well as several close friends and family of the Levines. And they are H.C. Smokey Bissell, Chairman of the Bissell Companies, Pamela Davis, President, Queen's University of Charlotte, Alfred and Amy Dawson, Philip Dubois, Chancellor of University of North Carolina, Charlotte, James Hines, Chairman, Carolina's Healthcare System, Howard and Julie Levine, Michael Marcicano, President and CEO, Foundation for the Carolinas, Hugh McCall, Jr., Chairman, the McCall Group, Sally Robinson, Community Volunteer, Patricia Rogers, President and CEO, Rogers Builders, James Rogers, Chairman, President and CEO of Duke Energy Corporation, Eric and Laurie Sklut, and Michael Tarwater, CEO of Carolinas Medical Center. This event tonight is supported by 70 generous sponsors. That's 70. They're listed in your program and appeared on the screen during dinner. Our special thanks to major sponsors Duke Energy, Goldman Sachs, Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated, Rogers, and HMS Host. When you see representatives of these and other sponsoring companies, please express your appreciation to them. Getting 70 organizations to sponsor an event is no small feat. And I'd like to recognize and commend our president, Lubomir Stambek, for his personal commitment and dedication to getting us to this level. Finally, I also want to thank, and I would ask that you stand and be recognized, the dinner committee for this event that worked numerous hours over the past 6 months to get things organized. And they are Larry Polsky, Michael Rose, Marie-Claire Maroon, Millie Cox, Vicky Sutton, John Lasseter, please stand, Mike Hawley, Bob Holcomb, Lubomir Stambek, and Charlotte Klopp. Thank you all. And now I'd like to switch topics and talk about the mission and goal of the World Affairs Council. We are all about two things: education and dialogue about world affairs. As Mayor Fox and Mayor McCrory before him have reminded us regularly, Charlotte is a city in the thick of globalization. It is vital to us as a community and as individuals to be better informed about world issues, other cultures, and how we relate to each other. The World Affairs Council of Charlotte was founded in 1983 and is one of 100 such councils in the United States. The roots of this network go back to 1918. And today, with a total membership of 530,000 members around the country, the World Affairs Council of America is the nation's largest non-partisan organization dedicated to educating, inspiring, and engaging Americans in international affairs and critical global issues of our time. Like all councils, your council in Charlotte, and I say your council in Charlotte, is a non-profit organization focused on fostering grassroots engagement in international affairs, and we seek to involve as many citizens as possible in an exchange of ideas, knowledge, and understanding of global issues. The Charlotte Council was founded as a result of the vision and initiative of Dr. Harold Josephson, a professor and international scholar at UNC Charlotte. And to this day, we enjoy a beneficial relationship with the university. Our offices are currently on the UNC Charlotte campus, thanks to the generosity of the university and the Office of International Programs. In line with the generous support that UNC Charlotte provides us, I would like to specifically recognize Phil Dubois, the Chancellor of UNC Charlotte, Joan Loden, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and Joel Galejos, Assistant Provost for International Programs, and a member of our Board of Directors. They are all great supporters of the Council, and we thank you for what you do for us. As I mentioned, our mission is education and dialogue on world affairs at the student, teacher, and community levels. At the student level, we conduct programs such as Academic WorldQuest, a program that was started in Charlotte and is now being used throughout the country, which is an international knowledge competition between teams from various high schools, with the winner going to Washington, D.C. for a national WorldQuest competition. We do international language lunches, which are lunch gatherings for accomplished junior and senior high school students. And at that event, we have a guest speaker, and the only language spoken is the foreign language for that day. No English spoken there. And we also have several other programs for students, especially when we take our visiting dignitaries to places like UNC Charlotte and other colleges and schools. At the teacher level, we serve as a resource for professional development and provide support through the Council Scholar Awards, which we'll mention in a few minutes. Finally, at the community level, we deliver educational programs on international topics at breakfast, lunch, and evening gatherings in various parts of the city. We also have an adult version of WorldQuest. We conduct gatherings such as our Voyagers Club, where small groups of people meet in different homes and places to hear local and regional experts discuss international topics of interest. Our young professional group, the Magellan Society, meets regularly for lively discussions and presentations on world affairs and provides networking opportunities for the many internationally minded young people who live in our communities. And then, of course, we have our feature programs with visiting dignitaries, national and world leaders, policymakers, prominent authors, and leading business CEOs. Some of our recent speakers have included Ellen Kruger, chairman of President Obama's Council of Economic Advisors; Rick Steves, travel expert and host of Rick Steves Europe, a PBS program which many of you may have seen; Dr. Parag Khanna, senior research fellow at the New America Foundation, and he's written a book on how to run the world. I wish he had some good things there, but I'm not sure if we're ready for that. Robert Guest, global business editor for the Economist magazine and author of Borderless Economics; General David Petraeus, now director of the CIA; and Dr. Sergei Khrushchev, historian, scientist, and son of former Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. Our ambassador series has showcased numerous U.S. and foreign diplomats, amongst them Ambassador Ryan Crocker, current U.S. Ambassador to Afghanistan; His Excellency Francois Delattre, Ambassador of France to the United States; Ambassador Mauro Vieira, Brazilian Ambassador to the U.S., just to name a few. And our CEO series has presented noted industry leaders from prominent Charlotte businesses such as Duke Energy, SPX, Areva, and Nucor. All these programs help to build awareness, they educate, they stimulate discussion, and create a better understanding of world affairs in the Queen City. So, if you are not a member of the World Affairs Council, you should be. We want your inquiring mind and assistance in promoting global thinking. This is an exciting and a highly relevant organization dedicating to helping its members connect the dots in a world that is interconnected, interdependent, and increasingly highly interactive. So, please look up our website. There is a bookmark that you have on your tables that has our website name, or contact any one of our staff or board members if you want to learn more about the Council. Now, we want to present our Council Scholar Program. To explain the program and announce the new Council Scholars, I'm very pleased to introduce the man who runs the World Affairs Council on a daily basis and makes what we have here possible, Lubomir Stamberg. Lubomir is the face and driving force of our organization. LJ, as he's also known, has been with us for a little over 5 years and has literally transformed the Council with programs and relationships that he has developed, which has propelled the World Affairs Council of Charlotte to center stage within the network of councils in the country and earned him national prominence and recognition by senior U.S. government officials. As a matter of fact, Lubomir has just returned from a one-week tour of Afghanistan, where, amongst other folks, he met with President Karzai and with General Allen, commander of the International Security Assistance Force. And this was at the invitation of U.S. Ambassador for Afghanistan, Ryan Crocker. So that is quite an honor. And for those of you who know, Lubomir, you know he is willing to talk about his experience anytime, day and night. So just give him a buzz. Lubomir himself is a citizen of the world. He was born in the former Yugoslavia and traveled the world with his diplomat father and family. He was educated in schools from Burma to The Hague and made his way here to the United States to do graduate work at Cornell University. He worked as a business executive for a number of years in New York, where he met his wife Natasha, a prominent attorney whose corporate headquarters relocated to Charlotte, bringing her, Lubomir, and the 2 young sons to our city. Both Lubomir and Natasha are shining examples of the kinds of people who are helping to weave the international fabric of our city. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lubomir.
Thank you, Firoz. I would like to use this opportunity, first of all, to thank my superb staff at the World Affairs Council of Charlotte. And I would like them to stand. Charlotte Klopp, Vice President, Programs and Education. Lauren Branson, Program and Membership Manager, World Affairs Council of Charlotte. And Courtney James, Membership Manager, World Affairs Council of Charlotte. Between them, they have put in many long hours sorting out all the details that make tonight work. I would also like to use this opportunity to thank all our interns and volunteers who have helped us put this dinner together this evening. Thank you. As Firoz mentioned, one of our teacher-level initiatives is the Council Scholars Program. This is a program that recognizes outstanding area educators who have demonstrated a commitment to international education and to whom we provide scholarships to be used to attend international conferences or advanced international education courses abroad that will enrich their perspectives and enhance classroom experiences. Tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Adam Perot, who is currently the curriculum coordinator for secondary social studies with Gaston Country Schools. Prior to serving in this capacity, Adam was a high school social studies teacher at East Gaston High School in Mount Holly and Hanahan. A 2004 graduate of Wofford College with double majors in history and government, Adam attended the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina, where he attained his master's in social studies education. While a graduate student at the Citadel, Adam worked with cadets with learning disorders as an academic and learning coach. Currently a doctoral student in the Department of Educational Leadership at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, he enjoys traveling the world and sharing those experiences with students and educators. Mr. Perot used his 2011 Council Scholar Award to travel to China and Vietnam as a part of a Columbia University National Consortium for Teaching About Asia program. His experience provided the basis for the development of a new Global Studies course at East Gaston. So, please join me in welcoming Mr. Adam Perot, the 2011 Council Scholar Award winner. Adam.
Thank you all for this opportunity to come and speak to you a little bit this evening. And thanks for the warm introduction and to the World Affairs Council and to all the sponsors of this very worthy program. It has definitely proved to be quite a valuable experience in my career and in the students of Gaston County as well. A little bit about myself. I became involved with the World Affairs Council last year when I was awarded the Council Scholars Award. I was a teacher in the classroom and had plans of creating a new global studies curriculum in our high school. Before I was able to leave on my journey to China and Vietnam, I found out that I would be serving in a new capacity this year as the curriculum coordinator for middle and high school social studies across the district. So to me, that was an opportunity to take the experiences that I was sure to gain to a whole different level than what I originally anticipated. A little bit tonight about what my trip entailed, what I've tried to do this year within our public school system, and what our future plans are as the years continue. The reason that I chose to travel to Vietnam and to China was partly due to Gaston County's partnership with the Confucius Classroom Institute. And at my high school, we had two teachers from China come in and teach our students Mandarin Chinese. So it made sense to the administration to bridge the gap between language and culture and to begin developing and fostering a program of cultural awareness for many of our students. So that was the original anticipation. Thus, I put together a proposal to travel with the National Consortium for Teaching About Asia to China and Vietnam, and did that last summer. Now, after my experience, of course, I experienced lots of cultural differences, the sights, the food, all of those things that are so different from our culture here in America. It was my hope that I would be able to share those with our entire district and with our staff. Some of the things that we've worked on this year have been to increase the number of students that are able to experience the Chinese culture. So instead of just offering Mandarin Chinese to 2 high schools, we've opened that up to 4 high schools and have brought in 2 additional Chinese teachers. Further, that global studies course that focused on East Asia, although I was not in the classroom to teach it this year, we were able to introduce it and pilot it at 2 of our high schools and hope to continue that program in the future. Further, this year, we have strengthened as a district our partnership with UNC Chapel Hill's Worldview Institute. I've been able to lead delegations of our high schools to both a fall and a spring symposium and have partnered with that organization to help our teachers internationalize their curriculum and provide these global experiences that are of the utmost importance. Further, I have tried to bring back a lot of my experiences through a professional development series that we opened up to all 2,000 staff members. And the 5-session series was entitled GCS, Gaston County Schools is Going Global. And the hope is to show teachers just how easy it is to internationalize curriculum and to make them aware of opportunities like this that exist for educators. Future plans, too many to list, but some of the things we hope to do is to continue to partner with the Worldview program at UNC Chapel Hill, to continue to partner with the World Affairs Council. We were able to send 2 of our high schools to participate in this year's academic WorldQuest, and I know it was quite a valuable experience for them, so that's hopefully something we can continue. Further, we're trying to increase the global offerings that exist within our school district. So we've written and developed a curriculum for Latin American studies, and our hope is that we will be able to continue to offer these opportunities. And finally, it's really one of my goals to continue to offer professional development and really train teachers in understanding what it means to go global and the importance in internationalizing our curriculum. So once again, thank you to the World Affairs Council and to the sponsors of the program. And as a recipient of the Council Scholars Award, it truly has made an impact not only in my career, but in the 35,000 students that Gaston County Schools serves. So thank you.
Thank you, Adam. We're really proud of you. Thank you for all you do to improve the educational experience of our children and help them succeed. Now, we'd like to recognize our 6 Council Scholar winners for 2012. We have them come up here on the stage to be honored and receive their Council Scholar certificate. All 6 winners are here with us tonight, so please give them a warm round of applause. They are exceptional teachers, and they won in a very competitive and hard number of people who applied. So they're really, really, really people that we should celebrate. I would like to start with Barina Hillian Johnson, Zebulon B. Vance High School. Barina will attend the Habla Ya Spanish School, a Spanish language immersion and cultural program in Panama. Barina? Megan Stanley from the Piedmont Middle School. Megan will be a participant at the Creative Engagements Thinking with Children, an international conference on education in London, England, and Samos Island, Greece, respectively. Megan. Lacey Van Avery, Smithwood Elementary School. Lacey will travel to Spain to participate in a teacher-focused Spanish language immersion program coordinated by the Cervantes International School. Lacey. Elizabeth Ryan, Porter Ridge Elementary. Elizabeth will go to Costa Rica on a program for North Carolina educators with a worldview in Chapel Hill. Elizabeth. Lakeisha Howell, Nathaniel Alexander Elementary School. Lakeisha will participate in the Global Vision International Phoenix Project in Antigua, Guatemala. Congratulations. And finally, Ambrosia Wilson, the Mary G. Davis Military and Global Language Academy. Ambrosia will be attending the 2012 Conference on Teaching Proficiency through Reading and Storytelling in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Ambrosia. Thank you for coming. We wish you a lot of success, and we are looking forward to hearing back about your experiences when you travel abroad. Thank you.
You know, these young teachers, when they come back from their journeys to different countries, are different people. For many, it's their first time ever to travel, and they impact so many thousands of students afterwards. And that passion for the world is like electricity. It moves from the teacher, who's excited, to the students. And that's how we spread the word in terms of promoting interest in the world. We now move to the presentation of the World Affairs Council's Harold Josephson Award. And it is my very great pleasure to invite Chuck Allen, one of our board members and a vice president with US Air, to come forward and present the award.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. When I was asked to be the presenter of the Harold Josephson Award to Jerry Orr, I was both quite excited and challenged. I've known Jerry for about 20 years. I've enjoyed his unique style of leadership, his interesting use of the English language, but more importantly, his results. I never knew Harold Josephson, but found the work of researching him more than worth the time and effort. For an award to be named in your honor, your life's work must have been remarkable, legendary, with a legacy that endures long after you have passed. And so is the case with Harold Josephson. He was an internationalist of the first caliber and brought his worldly insights to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, initially as a professor of history and eventually as the Associate Vice Chancellor of International Programs. The Office of International Programs at UNC Charlotte, the central element of Harold's legacy, is considered the gold standard and is nationally known as a prototype of a comprehensive university center that has every aspect of international programming under one roof. His non-university legacy is the World Affairs Council of Charlotte, of which he was quite instrumental in creating. Harold Josephson had a vision for a city in North Carolina with international life, created the foundation for such result, and it lives past him. And it is in that light, internationalism, vision, and creating a foundation to accomplish that vision, that we recognize this year's recipient of the Harold Josephson Award, Mr. Jerry Orr. Jerry's vision of an international airport in a small southern city, his hometown, and the foundation he created at the airport is unique in the entire world. I'm sure everyone here has read about the success of his efforts. Your program talks about Charlotte as being the 6th busiest airport in the country in terms of departures. But what you probably don't know is that Charlotte is also the 6th busiest airport in the world. Now think about that for just a couple of seconds. Charlotte has more flights every day than Paris. Just another reason for the French just to love us. Charlotte has more flights every day than Rome, or Frankfurt, or London Heathrow, which is the busiest airport in Europe. It has more flights than Tokyo, or Beijing, which is the busiest airport in Asia. Here's another amazing stat that tells you something about how special our airport is. Of the 30 busiest airports in the world, Charlotte has the smallest urban metro population. The natural question would be, how and why does Charlotte boast of so many flights and destinations? And those destinations are impressive. 130 nonstop destinations, 26 of those destinations being international, including London, Frankfurt, Munich, Rome, Madrid, Paris, Dublin, Rio de Janeiro, Toronto, Montreal, Mexico City, and more than 15 destinations in the Caribbean and Latin America. And Sao Paulo is coming. So how has Jerry created this platform for foundation for success? Jerry has led the airport for the last 20 plus years using a very simple guiding principle: highest possible quality at the lowest possible cost. Consider this: Charlotte's operating costs per passenger are about half that of Atlanta, which is the largest and busiest airport in the world. They're about a third of the cost of operating in Dallas-Fort Worth, about a sixth of the cost in operating in Chicago, and about a tenth of the cost of operating in San Francisco. It's often said by me that if Charlotte had the costs of San Francisco, Charlotte would not have a hub. This efficiency has not come at the expense of comfort or friendliness. In 2010, the Charlotte Airport was awarded the Eagle Award from the International Air Transport Association, recognizing Charlotte as the best-run airport in the world. As you travel through the airport, you may notice some folks dressed in bright yellow shirts. They are part of an airport volunteer program, over 75 strong, started in 2005, that assists travelers with answers to any questions about the facility. And who can forget the white rocking chairs located throughout the terminal? In our quarterly earnings call with Wall Street analysts and media yesterday, a reporter asked us if we were okay with the $1 billion in expansion plans for Charlotte Airport. Our president said, "Charlotte is the best-run airport in the world. He wished Jerry could run all the airports we serve," and confirmed our support for the Charlotte plans. In a world where airlines are suing cities and airports over ambitious capacity expansions, this is a very rare find. Since Jerry's been managing the airport, the number of foreign-owned companies in this area has more than doubled, and they often cite the airport as a key reason for locating in our area. I would challenge anyone to find an individual in this city or region that's had a greater impact on bringing international exposure to Charlotte greater than Jerry Orr. Jerry is often heard saying, "Give me a mile of road and you can go 1 mile. Give me a mile of runway and I can take you anywhere in the world." Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's Harold Josephson Award winner, Mr. Jerry Orr.
As you can see, Chuck does the talking and I do the doing. I cautioned, when I found out Chuck was going to do this, I cautioned him about setting the bar too high. I've enjoyed a lot of success by ensuring that the bar is always set low. A lot of you here tonight have told me that my job is very, very hard. And it's It's really not hard. I just stand up here at the front and make outrageous statements. And it's up to the men and women of Charlotte Douglas International Airport to see that I'm not embarrassed by making it all happen. Thank you very much for this award. And I remember Harold. I listened to Harold. You can learn a lot by listening sometimes. And I think Harold would be very proud of where the airport is today. Thank you very much.
A truly deserving award, isn't it, for what Harold Josephson wanted for this city. And now, for the reason we're here tonight, at least the primary reason, the World Citizen Award. This is an award that has been given by the World Affairs Council annually since 1990. The previous award winners are listed in your program, and I think you'll agree they represent outstanding internationally known individuals. And our community is very proud of all of them. Prominent Americans such as Reverend Billy Graham, Dean Rusk, Elizabeth Dole, Hugh McCall Jr., Charlie Rose, Dr. Francis Robichek, Marshall Lawson, and Jim Rogers. They are the previous winners, just to name a few. It certainly is a distinguished and select group, to say the least. The purpose of the award, as you know, is to honor prominent citizens with Carolina's ties, who have distinguished themselves by accomplishments and achievements that have had local, regional, and international significance. The selection of Sandra and Leon Levine as this year's honorees was easy, as it was obvious, considering the range and breadth of their contributions and commitment to the Charlotte region, and generosity to organizations promoting health, education, and personal values with impact far beyond the Charlotte region. This year, we're honored to have with us Jim Rogers, our 2010 award recipient, who is also a co-chair of this event. So we thought it might be fitting for Jim to take a few moments to speak about the experience of being a member of this honored group and to set the stage for this year's honorees. So with that, I'd like to invite Jim Rogers, Chairman, President, and CEO of Duke Energy Corporation, to the podium.
Good evening. I look out and I see all the people here. You could not get another table in this room. And they're all here for the same reason that I am here, and that's to celebrate Sandra and Leon. No one deserves this recognition more than they do. They have been champions of people in need, not just in our city, throughout our state and around the world. M.A. and I are so thankful for their commitment to Charlotte, to its citizens, and most importantly, laying the groundwork for our future, for our children, for our grandchildren. For many years, you have stepped up. You have stepped up for health care, to education, to the arts, and multiple other areas throughout our community. You have been true leaders in ways that matter. You have made our city one of the best in the United States, and I believe around the world. And most importantly, you have been an inspiration to M.A. and me. And my bet is, if we went around this room to every table, to every person. They are here tonight because you have been an inspiration to them. Your generous gifts, your caring spirit, your hard work have helped drive our city to where it stands today. For that, all of us in Charlotte are extremely grateful. But as I said, your gifts have been great, but your inspiration, that is what's going to drive our city to a place even beyond where we are today. Thank y'all so much.
And now, to really reflect on what Sandra and Leon have achieved and in the nature and scope of their contributions, we're going to show you a video presentation of their accomplishments. So please sit back and enjoy.
What makes a community? Is it a neighborhood of homes? A skyline of buildings? An appreciation of differences? A core of shared values? Community is greater than the sum of these parts, a blossoming of our diversity into unity for the common good of all. And there are the few whose vision, energy, and action ripple beyond geographical boundaries to touch countless lives. At the center of those ripples are Sandra and Leon Levine, whose generosity and spirit of leadership are reflected in everything they do. Because of them, our community has profoundly changed, not only in the way we see ourselves, but also in the way we see our world, and in the way we are seen across the nation and around the globe. In that sense, Sandra and Leon Levine have truly become citizens of the world. Leon retired from Family Dollar in 2003, marking the end of a career and the beginning of Sandra's and his legacy to the community they love. Working through the Leon Levine Foundation, they apply the same hands-on approach to philanthropy that Leon applied to business.
Well, I think that anyone that's ever negotiated with Leon knows that they're going to lose. It's just how badly. And it's one of the great things that has happened is since Leon's retired, he's turned those negotiating skills over into philanthropy, where he helps get the most bang for your buck in terms of doing good.
They are always looking at the outcomes that come about as a result of their gifts, so that if they make a gift, they are going to monitor the outcomes and make sure that their giving was as responsible as it could possibly be.
The Leans are very serious about what they're trying to do, and they're trying to do things that count, to do things that'll last, to do things that'll make the world a little bit better for their fellow man.
I remember being in a meeting several years ago with some folks in town, and someone in that meeting said, you know, I think it might be time for someone else outside of this community to step up and take some responsibility for some things that are happening in our community. Mr. Levine, Leon, nor Sandra said anything, but at the very end of that meeting, they closed the meeting in such a thoughtful and impactful way. They said, this is our community. If we don't step up and help this community, then who will?
Intrinsic in their efforts is a strong sense of family. Sandra and Leon cherish their relationship with their children and grandchildren. And striving for a better quality of life for all people and all families, Sandra and Leon adhere to core values. Values that are inseparable from their Jewish heritage and identity.
The Jewish community has been the beneficiary of Leon and Sandra's generosity for decades. Through their philanthropy, they have genuinely transcended boundaries of all kinds, including geography. They are providing support to young Israeli students, kids at risk in Israel and in Hadera in the same way that they are here in Charlotte.
Birthright Israel is an opportunity for Jewish young adults to go to Israel on a 10-day trip to explore Israel and connect with your Jewish identity.
The greatest part of the trip for me was going to the Wailing Wall and experiencing the spirituality that comes upon you when you enter. It is truly amazing.
Sandra and Leon understand that identity with a larger community provides an anchor and a sense of meaning to life. But to reach the full potential of one's God-given talents, there is no substitute for education. Sandra and Leon have generously contributed to key institutions for facilities and programs that ensure access to education for all citizens.
The Levine support has been tremendous for us. It's had great impact on our programs because we were able to cover several things from our operating expenses.
Our vision at Central Piedmont is to be the nation's leader in workforce development. So we're a career-focused college, and Leon and Sandra care about that. They know that dignity begins with a job. Hundreds of students every year are going to this college because of them.
The scholarship has allowed me to go to school. I'm just really thankful that they have the money and the opportunity to help us.
I think it's actually difficult to overstate the impact that the Levine Scholars Program has had on UNC Charlotte. It's allowed us to recruit top-tier students both in-state and out-of-state. It's increased our profile, we think, and will continue to do that. And it really does allow us to go forth and make our presence known both in the community, across campus, and further beyond.
And the opportunities for the student to impact the community, the nation, and the world and become a global citizen, there was no question in taking it.
Education is more than career training. It's a lifelong endeavor, enriching and stimulating the vitality of a community, and encouraging all ages to become engaged with history, the arts, and science.
They take a keen interest in science and the way children learn about science. I mean, bringing the Dead Sea Scrolls all the way from Israel, that was quite an undertaking, and they understood that otherwise the folks in this community and the surrounding region would not otherwise have the opportunity to see these extraordinary objects.
But sometimes, community identity and educational opportunities aren't enough. Those with fewer advantages are in need of extra assistance, regardless of language, religion, or national origin.
The legal clinic is a wonderful example of the ripple effect because we have clients who leave as naturalized citizens and they are able to get better jobs, better educated and enroll in schools and graduate programs and have a higher and stable income level for their families.
I don't have money, I have no family, I have nobody. But when I came here, in 6 months, I was healed.
Hundreds of people every year depend on this clinic and depend on it so that they can get a foot to move up the ladder. And so that's what the Levines have done.
There is one area that touches all segments of our community: the health of each individual and the need for care in times of illness or injury. Sandra and Leon have been champions in supporting the major healthcare initiatives for our region and beyond. Thanks to their generosity, the finest facilities and medical teams are making a dramatic impact on quality of care, cutting-edge research, and significant advancements in treatment outcomes.
The generosity of the Levines in the healthcare space in our community is something that not only has an impact today, but it'll have an impact for the future.
Sandra and Leon helped us in our International Medical Outreach Program, which is centered mainly to Central America and the Caribbean, and is a partnership between Carolina's healthcare system and the Heinemann Foundation. And somewhere in the corner of Honduras, there is also a Sandra and Leon pediatric intensive care unit. Not as big as the hospital in Charlotte, but it does as much good to them as they did to us.
And so our city, our state, our nation, and our world will benefit from Sandra and Leon Levine's philanthropic vision for generations to come. But perhaps their greatest gift is not any one donation, but the example they set for a world in need of charity and justice, repair and healing, and acts of loving kindness.
What they're doing is they're positioning Charlotte to be an international center of the arts, of medicine, of science, and they're positioning the various groups within Charlotte to have an international impact.
Sandra and Leon, the eyes of the world will soon be on Charlotte. Regardless of political affiliation and beliefs, people will see us as a shining example of a city concerned with creating a better life for all of its residents. Your generosity and your commitment to our common good are inseparable from what the world will see. In that sense, you not only have brought the world to Charlotte, but you are bringing Charlotte to the world. Who knows how far the ripples of your contributions may reach and how the world might be changed because of you. On behalf of the citizens of our great city, I want to say thank you.
To Mr. and Mrs. Levine, thank you very much.
I know all 40 of us want to say thank you for what you did.
Toda Rabah, thank you very much for all that you do and for making our lives better and more enriched.
Mr. and Mrs. Levine, I'd like to sincerely thank you for the opportunities that not only you've afforded me, but that you've afforded this community.
Gracias, Señor y Señora Levine.
And I thank you again. May God give you a long life to be here, to help others, cannot help themselves. Thank you very much.
Was that a wonderful video? Now we know why they are such deserving honorees. Actually, you can clap in a minute because a special thanks to Carolina's Healthcare Foundation and especially Michael Rose and his production team for putting that impressive video together. Now, to round out our perspective on Sandra and Leon, we have asked two prominent Charlotteans to give us a bit more information and their insights from their perspective. Dr. Pamela Davis is the president of Queen's University and has overseen significant changes at the institution since becoming president in 2002. One of the initiatives is the Levine Health and Wellness Center, which is scheduled for completion by the fall of 2013. Pamela is currently on the board of two public companies, Family Dollar and Sunoco, and serves on committees at numerous organizations, including the YMCA and the U.S. National Whitewater Center. Dr. Marcicano is the president and CEO of Foundation for the Carolinas, a community foundation based in Charlotte, managing assets of over $900 million and awarding more than $130 million in annual grant awards to deserving nonprofit organizations. He has served on numerous boards, including Americans for the Arts, the Keenan Institute for the Arts, Discovery Place, and the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Pamela Davis and Dr. Michael Marcicano.
Good evening. Pamela and I are privileged to honor our dear friends, Sandra and Leon, on this very special occasion. The Levines have redefined the World Citizen Award by making a world of difference here in Charlotte. We've all had the extraordinary experience of watching our city change and grow around us. Many of us can remember a time when they rolled up the sidewalks at 5 o'clock. But now, as we prepare for the world to visit us this September, Charlotte is ready for its close-up, and a walk through Uptown is a walk through a sophisticated city.
And Michael, much of that evolution is due to the outstanding vision and generosity of Leon and Sandra Levine. Over the course of 4 decades, their support has transformed virtually every facet of public life in our community. They have truly helped put Charlotte on the world map.
Tonight, we take a closer look at that transformation. Let's start with the story of the business success that forms the wellspring of the generosity behind the Leon Levine Foundation. From the beginning, it was clear that Leon did not lack for ambition. At age 15, he appointed himself executive vice president of his family's clothing store, going so far as to print business cards without his family's knowledge.
I wish I'd thought of that strategy, Michael. I could have been a college president much sooner.
Well, it definitely worked for Leon. He became a chief executive at just 22 years old when he opened the first Family Dollar store right here in Charlotte on Central Avenue. Within a year, his second and third stores were open. By the time Leon retired in 2003, Family Dollar was a Fortune 500 company. Alongside the other major companies that call Charlotte home, Family Dollar has helped make our city a significant destination in the world of business.
But business success is just the first chapter in the Levine story. Leon and Sandra also share a passion to support, enhance, and improve their community. Through the work of the Leon Levine Foundation, they are doing that every day. As Leon built the business, Sandra became a vital community leader. We know of her tireless service on many boards, including the Levine Museum of the New South, the Blumenthal Performing Arts Center, Charlotte Country Day, and the Foundation for Charlotte Jewish Community. She has also served as the commissioner for Carolina's healthcare system, and I am very proud to call her a trustee of Queens University of Charlotte. In 2010, her leadership was recognized statewide when she was inducted into the North Carolina Women's Hall of Fame.
We can't possibly describe for you all of the gifts they have given to our city, but we do want to recount some particularly notable acts of philanthropy that helped transform Charlotte into a city of international caliber. All great cities have great cultural amenities. From the Louvre in Paris to the Bolshoi in Moscow, they enrich the lives of our citizens and draw visitors from around the region and across the globe. Charlotte has a new cultural jewel in her crown with the addition of the Levine Center for the Arts. The cultural complex was a long-time dream for our city, and the project was named for the Levines when they made an extraordinarily generous gift to complete the campaign in 2008. Their gift of $15 million enabled Charlotte to maintain forward momentum in the face of economic headwinds. And I like to think that the iconic Firebird sculpture that stands before the Beckler Museum represents the fierce resilience that Leon and Sandra helped our city to demonstrate at that time.
Fierce resilience. I love that thought. And speaking of fierce, I can think of a couple of other sculptures that capture our community spirit. Those big black cats in front of Bank of America Stadium. As part owners of the Carolina Panthers, Leon and Sandra have brought America's best-loved sport to Charlotte and given us all a great reason to pull for the home team. And Michael, I know that you and Leslie have attended a few games with Leon and Sandra, as have Bob and I. I'm not sure that I've seen a, shall we say, more enthusiastic fan than Sandra Levine. She may be the picture of poise and calm most of the time, but in the stadium, it's a different story. In fact, should Coach Rivera need some help calling the plays, he should call on Sandra. And I was wondering, Sandra, did you tell Jerry who to draft tonight? Thank you.
Pamela, you're one to talk. Look at the colors you're wearing.
Ah.
But seriously, folks, Leon and Sandra have made indelible contributions to another part of Charlotte's identity, our Jewish community. Their philanthropic work is firmly rooted in their Jewish faith. Great cities celebrate the diversity of religious traditions, and the Levines have helped Charlotte do so with their commitments to Shalom Park, a center for worship, education, and family life where beliefs can be shared and passed on to future generations. At its heart is the Levine Jewish Community Center, which celebrates Jewish heritage even as it welcomes members of all faiths. And as we saw, Leon and Sandra's support reaches around the world to Israel as well.
The Levines' faith and compassion have also led them to focus on Charlotte's most essential needs. During the dark days of the recent economic crisis, they established the Critical Needs Response Fund to shelter, feed, and clothe families in tough circumstances. While Sandra and Leon undoubtedly appreciate the numerous accolades, awards, and expressions of gratitude they've received, there is one moment that they find particularly touching. They were dining out one evening and asked for the bill, only to have their server tell them that the dinner had been paid for by an anonymous couple to thank them for launching the Critical Needs Response Fund.
Another critical need in every community is health care. And here again, Leon and Sandra's generosity has been transformational. Their gift of $15 million has made Levine Children's Hospital a world-class facility that will serve generations of our region's children with the best in health care. And of course, in relatively short order, they followed suit with a $20 million gift to establish the Levine Cancer Institute at Carolina's healthcare system. Every day, the Institute provides health and hope for our whole region.
Michael, I think it's time we look at another important sector of our life, education. Sandra and Leon understand that every great city invests in education and that education has the power to transform lives and to create leaders. I know my fellow educational leaders, some of whom are here tonight, would join me in saying that Leon and Sandra's support of higher education in Charlotte will pay dividends for generations to come. At Queens, the Levine Center for Wellness and Recreation will soon ensure that our students can develop their minds, bodies, and spirits as they pursue their education. This facility will make a tremendous difference to our students and to our university as we strive to attract the best and brightest to our city. They've also created a Levine Presidential Scholarship at Queens, and I believe their scholar, Natalie Spencer, speaks for all of us when she says, "I can never repay the gift they have given me, but Mr. and Mrs. Levine have inspired me to use my education to help others."
Leon and Sandra have invested in our K-12 public schools as well. Troubled by our nation's international rankings in public education and our high school graduation rates here at home, Leon and Sandra worked with other foundations to create Project Lift, dedicated to public school reform in our city's West Side corridor. They kicked off that effort with a gift of $10 million.
The Levines' giving is born of their spirit of caring. That spirit begins with their great love for each other, for their children, and for their grandchildren. And it inspires the many gifts that impact all of us.
In fact, since Leon retired from Family Dollar in 2003 to embark in earnest on what he calls his second career as a philanthropist, the Leon Levine Foundation has made contributions of more than $100 million.
Leon and Sandra, we cannot imagine our circle of friendships without you, nor can we imagine our city without your tremendous generosity. Our healthcare, our schools and universities, our cultural and faith communities would be unrecognizable without the support of Leon and Sandra Levine.
Sandra, Leon, You have joined the ranks of the great philanthropists of the world. It is our honor and privilege to present to you the 2012 World Citizen Award.
Thank you, Michael and Pamela. And let me repeat again, we are really proud to be presenting the World Citizen Award for 2012 to Sandra and Leon Levine. Just listening to what has been accomplished and what I'm sure will be accomplished by Sandra and Leon in the future, we have two people who are rightly taking their place among the list of the honored. In addition, we have a book of letters from our co-chairs and numerous admirers who have written in to just say thank you and to show how they feel about what Sandra and Leon have accomplished. So hopefully that is going to make some good reading when you have nothing else to do.
Thank you very much. Michael and Pamela, that was a beautiful presentation. It made me really feel great. I know it made Sandra feel great. I had a speech prepared to make tonight, but I think everything's been covered in that speech. So once again, I have to tear it up at what's happened to me, I think at Queens University. You know, before I started Family Dollar Store, I needed something to do. I had a bedspread factory, a chenille bedspread factory, and my brother Sherman, my oldest brother, bought it, and I wound up running it. And I was out traveling, and I went into this variety store in North Carolina, and there were 14 stores, and they gave me an order for 1,000 spreads. And I started thanking them and staying this and that, and before I know it, the man and the wife owned the business, started raising the devil with each other, and said, and cancel that order. So what I would mean by that is I appreciate all the kind words being said about both of us. We've enjoyed what we do and continue to do it again and more. But like the lady and the man who told me to tear up my order, I can't thank you any more than to tell you how much I appreciate everything you said and the way this presentation was been presented. All of the World Affairs Council. It's a beautiful, and I didn't know exactly what all this organization did, but it's really great finding out, and I'm certainly glad to be a part of this, and I certainly appreciate the honor that you give us. Sandra would like to say a few words.
Well, I just want to add to what Leon has said, my sincere thanks to the World Affairs Council for this wonderful award. We are humbled and honored that they felt that we were deserving of it. We appreciate so much all of you coming tonight to honor us and Jerry Orr. And we just thank you for this evening and for all of the work that went into it. And we're just overwhelmed. Thank you.
Thank you again, Sandra and Leon, for all your generous contributions. In many ways, you have helped to bring the world to Charlotte, as well as introducing Charlotte to the world, and that's a great accomplishment. At the World Affairs Council, we're looking for people who are curious about the world that we live in. We hope that you will join with us, because it is only through our collective curiosity and participation that we will become better informed both as a community and as individuals, and become leaders for global thinking. Thank you all for attending this event. It was a marvelous event. I'm just amazed at the number of people who came here and everything that I've heard about Sandra and Leon and their accomplishments. So thank you for attending tonight and for helping us to honor this truly remarkable couple. Have a safe journey home, and good night.